RocketGirl Show is my Thursday show where I help you get your business ready for blast off. And today we're going to talk about the key to raising prices. Now, when you're a virtual assistant and you're just starting out, you want to choose an amount to charge that's attractive to clients, but still represents your worth. But I think to start out at $80 an hour might put some people off, and it might be kind of difficult to do. Although I know a lot of us want to get to that number, and it's possible. You want to start a little bit slower on that scale. All right. Now here's some do's and don'ts when raising your prices, and I think you're going to find that the way that I suggest you do this is a little bit different from how I've seen it in other places. So the first thing, like I said, I want you to start with a competitive rate to attract your first clients. So competitive does not mean $5 or $10 or $15 an hour. It means more than that. And it does not mean working for testimonials. It does not mean, working for free. You don't need an internship. You don't need any of these things. Okay. You can start where you are right now. So choose a competitive rate. Now, I want you to raise rates on new clients only. All right. So let me explain why this is important. So when I was first starting out as a virtual assistant 11 years ago, I had to build a solid base of money coming into my business because I needed to eat. Okay. So what I did was I set my prices. I started at $50 an hour, and I waited until I had 10 clients. All right. So after I had 10 clients, I thought to myself, okay, this is working. This is working. I have 10 people who have said yes. Now, I may have had 20 people that said no. That's okay, because we just want the people who are lined up with the way we want to do business. So I'm thinking, all right, 10 people said yes. Now I'm going to raise my rate on number 11. The reason I want to raise my rate on number 11 and not the existing clients is because I need the apple cart to stay the same, right? I need that money coming in. I need those clients as my base. Now, I'm eventually going to raise their rate, but you don't want to give clients whiplash. You just keep raising your rate all the time because they're going to feel like, what the heck, because they're building their business based on the rate that you gave them, and they're comfortable with that. And that's built into their model, right? So you want to make sure you're not raising your rates on existing clients all the time. You want to be slow and methodical about it. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Now, so raise your rates on your new clients. Then you'll have, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 clients, and you'll have a lot of work coming in. And then your confidence is going to get stronger. And when your confidence is going to get stronger, you can raise it again. And each time I raised my rates, I thought, this is the end of my business. Like, no one's going to do this. And they always did. They always did. There wasn't a point where that changed. So you raise them for the new ones. Maybe some of the original ones have gone away because their project ended or whatever. So now you have room to bring more in at the next price, right? And you just keep doing this. Now, when you have plenty of work, I want you to raise your rates on existing clients very carefully. I have seen people raise the rates by sending an email just over the bow, like, hey, this is happening, deal with it. And I don't think that's the right approach. I think you want to remember you're in a relationship with your clients. This isn't like, you're a temp in an agency, you're in their business. So you want to write a thoughtful email, and depending on the length of the relationship and the amount of the increase, you're going to want to have a phone call with them potentially, or a Zoom. Now, when I raise my rates on existing clients, I sort them by the ones that I don't mind if they go away. I mean, we all have clients who are like, they're not really ideal and they're kind of driving me crazy. So I want you to raise your rate on those first. Now, I raise my rates on my existing clients, one client at a time, because I wanted to gauge what's happening to my cash flow. Right. So it wasn't just like, boom, here you go. So you want to make sure you're thoughtful about it. Now, I'm not suggesting you back down. I'm not suggesting anything like that, but you might want to be thoughtful in this way. So when I raised my rates, one time I had a client who I was doing a really big project for her. And what I decided to do was my rates were going up in January. She had paid me thousands of dollars over the course of the years that we'd worked together. And what I said to her was, okay, so my rates are going up in January because we're in the middle of this big project. And because I know you're relying on me, I'm not going to raise your rates until April 1st or when this project ends. So if the project ends on March 15th, when you buy more time, it'll be at the new rate, or April 1st, because I knew that if I was doing my part and I was staying current with the project, we could easily be done by April 1st. But I wanted a padding in there because I didn't want her to be stressed out and feel like I was pulling the rug out from under her. Okay. So you want to do it carefully. And I don't suggest that you back down. If you're raising your rates, you're raising your rates. And the great thing is, because you already have these new clients at a higher rate, it's less risk. So if they don't want to come along, that's fine. Now you have more room at the higher rate, or maybe this rate, right? So that's how that works. That's how it works. I'd love to hear in the chat if this is resonating with you, what you're thinking about that. Because for me and for the, the VAs that I've put through my school and trained and have relationships with, it's really worked well. Now, you also want to give them plenty of lead time. So you don't want to just say on, December 15th, oh, hey, by the way, I'm going up $10 an hour. You don't want to do that. You want to give them a little bit of lead time. I suggest, 30 days or so, again, depending on the relationship and depending on how much they use you. There might be a client who uses 40 hours a month, and the financial impact of that is going to be very different from someone who you work 1 or 2 hours a month, right? So you just want to keep that in mind. Okay. So plenty of lead time. And don't worry if you lose a few along the way. When I did a leveling out of my business in 2016 and raised everyone to the same rate, I lost a couple and they came back. And then some others left. It's a very fluid thing. We want to really think about our business as, clients come and go. And that's just a natural part of being a virtual assistant. Okay, so before we go, I want to make sure that you know about my free online classroom. You can find me at the Virtual Assistant Connection on Facebook. Click the join button, come on in. I'd love to have you. If you're watching on YouTube, please click the subscribe button so you'll be notified every time we go live. This show airs every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, and I'd love to have you put it on your calendar and join me. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat, and I'd be happy to circle back and answer them on the replay. Oh, here's a LinkedIn user. Hello from LinkedIn. Yeah, we're streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and all over Facebook. This makes sense. Can a disclaimer be added to your VA business website? I'd love to hear what that would say, what the disclaimer would say. Can you say a little bit more about that? So how this works, I'm just trying to think about what you might be thinking about. How this works is my published rate on my website, and I do believe in publishing your rate because it gets rid of tire kickers, and my rate's the same no matter what is what I'm working on. I have people pay my hourly rate to do literally to stuff envelopes and put stamps on. I'm not kidding. They send me work. They send me cards from Visprint. I sit at my dining room table and do that. And I have the same rate if I'm doing something that's, pretty technical and complicated and, uses most of my brain. Oh, here we go. Okay. Prices are subject to change. I don't have that because I think people know that. And I want to have, let me think about how I want to say this. I want there to be no friction between me and my clients. And I don't want it to sound like they're coming to like some, like where there's a lot of legal stuff. So what I do have on my website is no refunds. And that the time that they purchase, people prepay my time in 5 or 10 hour chunks. It's good for a year, but I do say no refunds. But you could do that, but I think it might make people to think again before hiring you, if that's something that you're talking about before you even get started. So I might not do that, but clients, they know that. They know that. Thanks for sharing this. Really useful for me. Great. I'm thrilled to see all these people on LinkedIn. That's fabulous. Fabulous. Okay. So thank you for your comments. Thanks for coming. I love doing this show, and I can't wait to see you next Thursday at 10 o'clock Eastern. And have a great week. Until then, I'm Belinda Sandor, Rocket Girl, signing off. Bye-bye.